Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wanted to build your own React component, package it up, and publish it to NPM for anyone in the world to use? Today we are going to do exactly that. We are going to build a professional animated swipe to action button from scratch. It has a beautiful default theme, it's fully customizable, and by the end of this video you will have your own very own package live on the NPM registry. We have got a lot to cover, but I promise we are going to break it down step by step. Let's get it started. Alright, first things first, let's set up our project. We are going to build a professional monorepo using TurboRepo. A monorepo is a single repository that holds multiple projects, which is perfect for managing a component and its documentation side by side. So first, in your terminal, run this command npx create turbo at latest. I will name my project swipe button. When it asks for a package manager, I highly recommend choosing PNPM. It's incredibly fast and efficient, especially for monorepos. Okay, here's what it gives us. The apps folder is for our websites, and the packages folder is where our reusable code will live. This is where we will build our swipe button. Let's get to the fun part. We are going to build our component using a powerful pattern called compound components. Instead of one giant component, we will create several smaller parts that work together, like swipe button.root and swipe button.slider. That gives developers who use our package ultimate flexibility. So I'm in packages UI source folder and I have created a new file swipebutton.tsx. The first thing we need is the way for all our component parts to share data. To share data or a state. The perfect tool for this is React context. Let's start writing our code. First, we add the use client directive at the top. This is a special instruction for tools like Next.js that tells them this component uses a client-side interactivity like useState and useEffect hooks. Use client. Next, we will import everything we need directly from React. We are building this with zero dependencies, so all our tools come from the React library itself. So import all the things we need. Now let's define the shape of our shared state using a TypeScript interface. This acts as a contract, defining all the values and functions that our components will share. So interface swipe context, open brackets. Here we need is swiping a boolean to know if the user is currently dragging a slider position, a number that will hold the current X position of our slider handle, overlay with another number to control the width of the colored success overlay, and we will pass down the disable and reverse swipe props. We also need refs to our main DOM elements so we can measure them. So we have container ref and slider ref, and finally the function to start the drag, handle drag start. Next, we create the context itself using create context. We give it the type we just defined and an initial value of null. And now we will create a custom hook to make it easy to use our context. This is a great pattern that provides a much clearer error message if a developer tries to use a component part outside of the main root component. It checks if the context exists, and if it doesn't, it throws an error. Perfect, that's our communication channel set up. Now we want this component to look great. Right out of the box, we will embed a style tag directly into our component. This means zero CSS file for the user to import. It just works. We will use CSS variables for everything, making it super easy to customize later. I will just paste in these styles. It's a full theme inspired by ChatCN UI with both light and dark modes powered by CSS variables. So right cons default styles and paste all CSS here. Now for the brain of our component, the swipe button.root, it will manage all the state, handle all the drag logic, and provides the context to its children. First, we define the props for our React component. This includes our callbacks like onSuccess and onFail, and configuration props like disable. Now we define the component itself. We use forward ref so the user can pass a ref down to the root div if they need to. we destructure all our props and provide default values for disable and reverse swipe. First, we set up all our state variables using useStateHook. Next, we set up our useRef hooks. This lets us hold values that persist across renders without causing a re-render themselves. We use them to get direct access to the DOM elements and to track the state of our drag interaction. We use a useEffect to set an initial position of the slider. This effect runs whenever the reverse swipe prop changes, ensuring the slider starts on the correct side. Now for our drag handlers, we wrap them in a use callback for a performance optimization so they aren't recreated on every render unless their dependencies change. Handle dragging is the core of our logic. This code checks if the event is a touch or mouse event and gets the current X coordinate. Then it calculates how far the user has dragged from the starting point. It calculates the new position for the slider. These lines get the dimensions for our elements. This line ensures the slider can be dragged outside of its container. We update the slider's position in our state, and we update our ref to keep track of the new raw position. This calculates how wide the color overlay should be, and we update the overlay width state. This block checks if the user has dragged far enough to trigger a success, and if so, it finalizes the swipe and calls the onSuccess callback. Handle drag end cleans everything up. When you let go, it checks one last item if the swipe was successful. If it was, it locks the slider to the end. If not, it resets everything back to its starting position. So finally, it removes the event listener from the window to prevent memory leak. Handle drag start is called when the user first clicks or touches the slider. It checks if the button is disabled, sets out this dragging flag, records the starting X position, and attaches the move and the end listeners to the window. The use effect is a safety net. It ensures that if the component unmounts for any reason mid-drag, we clean up the window event listeners. Now we create the context value object that contains all the state and functions we want to pass down to our child components. Finally, the root component returns the context provider, which makes the context value available to all its children. It also injects our default styles via the style tag and renders a div with all necessary props and data attributes for styling. Now that the root is doing all the hard work, the child components are incredibly simple. Their only job is to get state from our context and render a div. We use a forward div for all of them so they can reference if needed. The rail component just renders a div with its default class name. The overlay component gets the overlay width from context and applies it in an inline style. And the slider component gets the slider position from context and applies it using a CSS transform for smooth animation. It also attaches the handle drag start function to its onMouseDown and onTouch start events. To finish our component, we will export all the parts as a single object. This gives us that clean swipe button.root syntax. And with that, our component is fully built. It's powerful, flexible, and ready to be packaged. Okay, let's get this thing ready to publish. We need to configure our package.json and create a build script. This package.json file is a passport for your package. The name must be a unique NPM, so use a scope like. So you can use a scope like, or like me, you can just have a package name. The files array tells NPM which files to include in a package. We only need our dist folder, main, module, and types are the entry points for the different tools. And pure dependencies tells NPM that our package needs React, but the user's project should provide it. Now let's add the build script. Build tsub source /index.tsx -- formats common.js and esm --dts external React. This command tells the tool called tsub to bundle our TypeScript code into standard JavaScript. Alright, this is a moment of truth. Let's publish. First, let's build the package from the root of our project. Run PNPM build --filter equals to your package name swipe button. Next, if this is your first time, you will need to log into your NPM account. So write NPM login in your terminal. I have already logged in. And now for the final command, navigate into your UI package directory, cd packages UI, and run npm publish --access public. That access public flag is important if you are using a scopes package, and hit enter. And just like that, it's live Let's check. Look at that, our package is on NPM registry, available for anyone to download. We are importing and using a package that we built from scratch and published to the world. So there you have it. We went from an empty folder to a professional published NPM package. You learned how to set up a monorepo, build a flexible compound component, configure a package, and share it with the world. I hope this video gave you the confidence to start building your own project. The full source code is linked in the description. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments what you're going to build next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.